Hello everyone, welcome to a new kind of video on my channel where I'm going to attempt to show you how I do digital art using Krita, the digital art software. Yeah. So, I have not been active on YouTube for a lot of months. I apologize, but today I'm going to answer all the questions I found, so I hope you don't hate me too much. You can hate me a little bit, but just like not too much. So first, I'm going to be showing you how to create individual windows. A lot of you who use Krita might be wondering how I split my how I get split windows, because when you originally download it, it comes with just tabs where you can use one at a time. So what you do is you go to well, first you should open a new document. So what you do is you go to Krita Preferences, and then you go to your already be in general, you go to Window, and then you make sure that this multiple document mode is on sub windows, not tabs. Then after that you just click OK, and it should just make separate windows. So what you do is you could have multiple tabs, and you're able to separate them, put one away, or make them side by side. It helps when doing a reference image. You can have your reference image right next to where you're drawing, and you can make the proportions right and match things up. There's also a way to make, instead of having an overview, you could have a actual reference image tab where you put a reference image there. It's you go to settings and your dockers. Your dockers are the things that are all set up everywhere. So like I have overview, and so I have overview checked, so if I didn't want it, I would just click it and it would go away. If I wanted a reference image, I would just click it, and it's right here, and you can move it to wherever you want. And you would just add an image in here by looking at your photos or like placing an image. Next thing is how to place images in Krita. So, okay, there's two ways you can do this. One way is you can just drag the image into a document, and you can open it as a layer in this document that's already here, or you can open it in a new document. So there's two options for you. So I would just do it as insert as a new layer. So then another thing you can do besides just dropping it in is you could pull it from your downloads. So I just placed this image onto my desktop, so I'm not going to do that. And yeah, so that's another way, and both ways work depending on what you want. Like if you wanted a background or border on your image, I guess you could edit an image or do whatever you want. But if it's just your reference, you could just pull it and just do the whole thing. But like if you want a specific size, I guess this is better. I don't know. And then also you can just resize your image and make it fit perfectly. So yeah, that answers that question. And on to the brushes I use. Okay. So I'll start with like the basic things that I use. So this tool is just, I know it looks different probably, but it's your basic like airbrush tool that I kind of configured a little bit. I know this tool probably looks a little bit different, but it's just that I edited the preset by just messing with this. This changes like the circles, like kind of consistency, I want to say. And then I whatever you have in this square, when you click override preset, makes the image there. It puts that image there for, yeah, I don't know how to say this, but whatever you have in this little square, when you click override preset, becomes the new default image when you're clicking your brush. And when I first started out, I didn't know that, so I accidentally had some weird scribbles in this box, and it looked like really ugly, so I just stole this one and like drew my own little thing in there, and then went back over here and overrided the preset. If this isn't making sense, you just skip this part. But yeah, so this is just whatever was here. I could have changed the spacing a little bit and just messed with this, but this is pretty much all I did. And so yeah, this is the brush I like. Well, like now. Previously, I liked. Okay, so let's just do this. This is called Airbrush Linear. And this is for like when I do skin tones. Let's see if I can do skin tones. When I do like skin, because you can keep layering, and when they overlap, they kind of blend a little. The colors blend by themselves. And you can blend it easier, I guess. So I like using this one. It's kind of smooth, I think. And you can, I don't know, you can just overlap better, I think. And the brush I used to use when I first started, which was not that long ago, was this one. It's called Fill Circle. I just liked how smooth it was, I guess, but the thing is that the edges are too rough, so I guess if you use the soft one, the edges are too rough, so when you do like skin or something, it will like just be like, if you use color picker and you pick a color and you put it somewhere, then you put another color, it will just, there will be no like gradient or no blend. They'll just sit on top of each other. And with a softer one, or like maybe a lighter opacity, they'll like blend a little bit. So this one is Fill Circle. That's basically it. I want to say that that's all I use mostly for like everything. For hair, I use that will go more into blending, I think. I use these when I do hair. I just make it small. The technique that I use, well, I don't think there's that much of a technique. It's like me color picking sections of hair. So for example, the hair will have like will be dark, and then it will be like kind of light, and then it will be like kind of dark again, I guess, and then there'll be like mid-tones and blah. This is like not the same colors, but you get the picture. And then what I do is I like take a color smudge brush, I guess, and usually I take this third one, Basic Wet, and I just blend it. I just blend them. I try to do lightly because with this brush, if you have a color underneath, and if you press hard, it will make the color come out more. I think I just actually laid it down with a blending tool, all these colors, but it's the same effect for what I do. And then after that, I take one of the brushes that I usually use, and I make the size really small, and then I take one of the colors, and I just go through. Well, I usually do this, like I just do this, which is not a technique. It shouldn't be a technique, and but I use it, and it like gets the precise color, I guess. So like if there was a glint of light or something here, and then it goes like back. This is like, yeah, so then I go back and I grab the blending tool again. Now when it gets to this, I don't use the Basic Wet. I use a different one because the Basic Wet will blend too big of sections, so like it doesn't keep each individual strand. I'll use one of these more like T-shaped ones, because like let's say I use that and I make strands. If I use this Basic Wet brush, it will just blend it all out. But if I use one of these, you can still see them. Yeah. So this is called Block Mix Tilt. So it kind of pulls the color more. Also, I like to do rotation. Let me see. There it is. It's called drawing angle. So remember that. I've been forgetting. Okay. So that makes it so that you can blend in any direction. Ooh, fancy. Okay. So basically you can just lightly pull down and it like gives you this dog fur texture, depending on what the hair looked like. So yeah, dog fur texture right here. You don't want to over blend it like I'm doing, because that will make it not have the texture that you just created those lines for. So just a little bit's enough. Yeah, and then after that I kind of go over it with more strands so that it doesn't just look like some weird like mop, some wet hair or something. It's not realistic enough, I guess. Or yeah, so then I just go over, grab a brush again, and just do little strands. Makes it look kind of better, I think, maybe. So I'm kind of not trying, but like, you get the idea, I think. You get the idea. Yeah, I don't have like a picture. Well, cause like, yeah, you get it. I'm just, yeah. So that's how I do it. And you probably seen it in a few of my videos. Okay, so I think that's about it for brushes. And then last but not least, sketching. How do you do sketching? When I do sketching, this is how I started doing it, but my next video is not like this at all. Don't be thrown off, but I'm like trying to do different things, I guess. And I would say if you're starting out, it's easier to have them be the same size as your reference image, because it's just like makes sense. You have to do less math and everything, just perfectly proportionate, and like you won't be confused by the image size and like this and that. So it's like your image size, have it be the same as your reference image, just like if you're starting out. If you got that, then you're good. But like, then what you do is you take this and you open your Docker and you make sure you have grids and guides. Where is it? I can't read. Grids and guides, right here. It's already checked. So then that's right here for me. And what you do is you kind of just make squares, basically. You make a grid, and you don't want it to be this small because it would be like a paint by number kind of thing. You want it to be big enough so that you have enough room to actually like draw something. The point of this is to separate each individual part so that you're looking at the picture as if it was just like lines and shapes and tones, instead of just like what you think it should look like. So basically you're drawing everything in reference to everything else. So I think like probably this size is good, or maybe like smaller or bigger depending on what you think you can do. So then if you have the image the same exact size, you can make the grid the same exact size. And then all you do is you just create lines from what's in there. So like you would say, I'm going to do this square first. So you'd start here at this top square, and you would separate it from the rest, and you just go there. But like also, if you're using what I'm using, which is the cheapest Wacom tablet you can get, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, of course. If you're using that, you're not gonna just right away be able to have perfect like coordination with where your drawing is and where your hand is if you can't look directly at it. So this is like helpful for knowing where everything is in relation to each other, with not just like the image but also with your drawing. You just kind of draw what's here, and you'd sketch and look at it as if it was just lines and not just like this is a hat, but you see that this kind of has a little bit of space from here to here. So then you'd make that same adjustment and you would do the same shape, and you'd see it would cross right here, so then you would have it cross right there as well. Okay, I think that's all I have left. The last thing I want to say is thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. It means so much to me, and you guys are so nice and so wonderful. Like, I'm surprised a lot of you don't hate me, because I haven't posted things for a long time, and sometimes I don't comment or respond to your comments, but I do read them all and I do love them. So thank you so much, and hopefully you like this video, or hopefully I answered all of your questions that you had, because I'm not a very technical person. I can only do the bare minimum of things using Krita. There's so much you can do, and I can only do not a lot of things. So hopefully you learn something and you use it to further your art and stuff. Thank you so much for everything, and also I posted, or I should be posting, another video that I drew of my best friend, and you should watch that, because that's probably my best one yet. You should watch it. Thank you. Bye.